It's Bourbon Night. Hello, I'm Chad.
I'm Sarah.
Sarah, what do we got?
We got Buffalo Trace.
Buffalo Trace, an oldie but a goodie.
That's right. I mean,
A staple.
It's been a while since we've never even really talked about this on its own.
On its own, no. I guess
visited it in some flights. We've referenced it many a times.
Yeah. It was in our very first episode, in fact. 50 bourbons under $25. Now this one's kind of harder to find under $25 sometimes.
I know, right? Sometimes harder to find in
True.
some areas.
Allocated.
Or I've seen limit one per person.
Yeah, as all Buffalo Trace stuff is right now, allocated. Limit one at a lot of places.
If you told me 3 years ago that I wasn't going to be able to walk in the store and find Buffalo Trace sitting on the shelf, I would have said, Psh, you're crazy.
You crazy.
I like you, but you're crazy.
Let's give it a pop here.
Woo.
Oh, yeah.
That was a nice one. You just sounded like the Kool-Aid Man.
Oh, yeah. No, that's Macho Man. Apparently I can't do Kool-Aid. I can only do Macho Man. Oh, yeah.
No, the Kool-Aid Man was the one you just did.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's just, but I want to go into Macho Man with it.
Don't do it.
Okay.
All right. This is a small batch. It's a blend of about 125 barrels.
Mm-hmm.
So told to us by Harlan Wheatley.
So says he.
So says he. And
Master
he is
distiller
right.
Harlan Wheatley.
And it was good.
And it was good.
It says between 7 and 9 years. He said 8 years. So
Yeah.
that is between 7 and 9.
I feel like 8's probably its sweet spot. Sometimes they blend in some 9, they throw in some 7.
Whatever they're feeling like that
yeah,
day.
it depends on what they're feeling like. And this is mash bill number 1, which means it is the lower rye, rumored to be around 10% or less rye. It's in good company. Eagle Rare,
Oh, yes.
the E.H. Taylor's Stag, Junior and Senior, and Old Chata. Old Chata
Old chata.
is in that. So
And did we say it's 90 proof? I don't think we did.
we didn't. It's 90 proof. So again, this is another one that, if we were to put a stamp on this episode, it'd be more like, Bourbon 101.
Yeah.
Kind of when you're starting out, maybe you want to step up from the ancient age.
I mean,
or
yeah, I was an Evan Williams black label
Evan
kind of
Williams
girl.
or
Jim
whatever.
Beam white label, whatever it is.
It's hovering around that $25 mark. You can find it for less. You can find it for more.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard, people who go out of state and they go to a liquor store and they ask the person behind the counter, hey, you got anything special? I'm like, yeah.
I got some Buffalo Trace.
Got some Buffalo Trace in. And they're like, for
So special.
us spoiled people in Kentucky.
Yeah, we are spoiled.
Where we can find it pretty much whenever we want, but not always. Yeah, just that solid smell.
It's very soft though.
It is soft.
It is, but it's it's got something, but it's delicate. It's not aggressive. It feels subdued, kind of, subtle, like you said.
Well, it's mellow. It's 90
mellow.
proof.
But it doesn't smell watered down like it's like lacking flavor.
Right.
If that makes sense.
It does. It does. And you're kind of getting light versions of everything. Light spice, light fruit.
I think it's got some really nice grainy notes.
Yeah,
It's
light
comforting.
grain.
Mm.
It's the old familiar
It is.
nose of bourbon.
Yes.
Now, let's dive in. Solid.
Yeah.
That's the best way to describe it. It's
The finish is there. It's not the longest. The flavors are there. They're not the boldest. I don't know how. I mean, they're good. It's good.
yeah. No, you were totally on with that description. Everything is there and accounted for, and is perfectly fine. You know, it's solid, medium finish.
Right.
Medium flavors.
And not medium in the way of is it amazing or does it suck? Just on the scale of tame to bold. I don't know.
I mean, I would call it above average.
I would also call
It's not
it
like
above
it's
average.
average. It's above the curve.
For a 90 proof bourbon under $30, I would call it very good.
Yes, very good indeed. Very solid. It's dependable. It's a dependable bourbon. Like you said,
the old familiar, old reliable.
Yeah, if you looked up bourbon in a dictionary, there might be 9 or 10 names that could define it. Like, go drink this if you want to know what bourbon is. I think this would probably be one of them. I
think Buffalo Trace would make it in there.
Yeah, it's
for sure
the definition of bourbon. It's just a solid, especially for the price, offering Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey.
Buffalo Trace Distillery is a National Historic Landmark, so I mean, yeah, it warms you up the right amount. I'd be happy if someone I used to say, if you haven't had any bourbon yet before, go get some Buffalo Trace. And I used to say it was my favorite. Not that it sucks now, just that I've discovered so much more.
Well, yeah, you know, it's well-rounded. It's approachable. It doesn't jut out in any crazy direction.
No.
And when you're finding
Got
more
some
of your
warmth.
taste, you go for those things that jut out in that direction that you really like. You know, what would it be for me?
Oh, nutty.
Nutty. This isn't nutty, but I still really love it. It's just solid. It's something that you can have for pour number 1 or pour number 5. You know, and
I was
anywhere
gonna
in
be
between.
Like, pour number 8. No,
Pour number-
don't go that far.
No. And you could have it all night.
That's how we end up on the floor.
Exactly.
You could have it all night. I agree.
Pour
It's an
number
easy
4
sipper.
or pour number floor. No, it's a easy sipper. It's got you know, when you have 2 or 3 sips and you get to talking and you really just let it kind of rest there on your tongue, you get kind of some, of course, those darker notes for me always, that's when they arise, and it's kind of like almost like a bitter chocolate. Do you get that?
There's 100% chocolate in here. Yeah. Like I get really soft caramel on the front, and
Yeah.
then in the middle I do get like a milky chocolate that kind of finishes into a bitter chocolate.
Yeah.
And there is some heat. It does leave some warmth on your tongue. You know, the more sips I take of this, the more I'm like, why don't I drink this more?
Right?
Like, I should have taken this to parties. I mean, I used to. That used to be my thing. So
Yeah. Obviously,
I've
it's
forgotten
easy.
about you.
Because I've already finished it.
You did.
Ugh.
Yeah, I've had several sips. Normally, I'm the one that finishes it first.
I know. Oh, it's just so easy. It's just, you know, you don't need to take a whole lot of time in between it if you don't want to. But here's something to ponder. Such a strong offering at just 90 proof. Compare it to like an Elijah Craig small batch, regular. Great, solid offering.
They're
Love
both
it.
Yummy.
Both yummy. But what happens when you go and you find Elijah Craig barrel proof? Magic.
magic.
Now, I don't ever see them coming out with a Buffalo Trace barrel proof, but wouldn't that be
wish.
awesome?
That would be
I mean,
so cool.
I think they saved that for other things.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Blends.
well, would you say like
Straight
not
from the barrel.
this, but like, are you saying like if they're gonna make something that's that old and barrel proof, it's gonna be stag?
Yeah,
Junior?
it's gonna be in the
E.H.
Buffalo
Taylor
Trace
barrel proof, yeah.
Yeah, antique collection. Yeah, your E.H. Taylor, which is the same mash bill.
What?
And that's basically, you know, I mean, there's probably some age difference or where they pull in the warehouse for an E.H. Taylor, but that's like the potential right there because we both had E.H. Taylor barrel proof and loved it.
Yeah.
Ah, that would be wonderful.
Wouldn't that be cool? I would just want to see how they were how it would be different than the others.
Buffalo Trace, straight from the barrel.
Oh, very cool.
What a ring to it.
How
But
many experimental barrels do they have aging right now?
last time we heard from Harland, it was 14,500. And
That's insane.
the E.H. Taylor 4-grain came from an experiment.
that was a great experiment. I
Yes,
wish I could
that
have some
was-
more of that one.
That was a good experiment.
But it's crazy for how many experimental things they do. It's just
Yeah.
really cool that they
Yes.
do that as a distillery. So
They didn't stop experimenting in college.
they didn't. They
just-
took it all the way. They made a career out
They
of
made
it.
a career out of it, and good for them. So, in conclusion, I have to give this a recommend.
I definitely give it a recommend.
Yeah. Hopefully it's available in your area. Hopefully you can find it relatively easy.
Everyone should have a bottle of this on their bar.
Yes. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notifications to know when we put out our bi-weekly episodes. You can find things like this Tribeca glasses that we use on our Amazon influencer page, amazon.com/shop/it's Bourbonite.
And you can become one of our Patreon people.
One of our Patreon people, or our patrons.
Our patrons, if you visit patreon.com/itsbourbonite, become one of our Patreon people. No, but we have different levels. You can just be a public bystander sometimes. We leave things open to the public. Watch our lenses, which is basically like Instagram story, but for Patreon. And check out all the cool stuff we're doing. Like I said, polls. Yeah.
Polls and yeah.
Polls and yeah.
And then lastly, you can follow us on all those social medias at It's Bourbonite. Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, Chad.
Okay. And until next time, drink more bourbon.